I'm Indrani Pal-Chaudhuri. I graduated from Princeton in 2001, and my concentration was cultural anthropology. As a child, growing up in India, I was surrounded by art and culture. I first experienced photography looking at all the old portraits of my ancestors. My parents loved the arts. They're both accountants. My mother volunteered for Mother Teresa, and my dad worked with many charities as well. So there were always fundraisers and galas, and art was always a big part of that. I left India when I was 8, and I lived in England and then Toronto. At the age of 14, I went to a local photo studio and said, "Can I please assist you? I'll carry things, I'll do anything." And they laughed at me and said, "You can just sit there and we'll photograph you." I was a bit perturbed by the idea, but it was a wonderful way of seeing the industry from the inside out. I saved up a lot of funds, so at the age of 18, I started a school in my family home in Bengal. The goal was to inspire young women and girls to be educated, to be able to create a new life for themselves. And so we provide education for the very, very poor. It's completely free. We have a school from kindergarten up through high school, and then we also have an adult literacy program for women. So I applied to Princeton and ended up going to Princeton 2 years after I started my photography career. So while I was a student there, I continued doing my photography and really growing as an artist. At first I thought I should really focus on all the serious intellectual pursuits and avoid studying any of the things that I really loved, which were film and the arts. So I did some amazing courses. I did the humanities sequence. I studied Sanskrit, and I helped to revive the whole Sanskrit study. I remember my first class with P. Adam Sitney, the most wonderful film philosopher, I would say. And it influenced me so deeply, and I was really profoundly moved by the selection of films that he shared. They were quite shocking and very experimental films. One of the fun experiences when I was a student was I got a call at my studio, and it was David Bowie, and he had seen some of my work and wanted me to shoot an album cover for him. So that was my first opportunity to work with a known artist. Another wonderful experience was photographing Beyoncé's first solo album cover. She was developing as an artist and trying to bring out a potential future side of herself that none of us had seen yet. After I graduated from Princeton, I continued my photography. I shot a great many celebrities and got to work with wonderful artists. 4 years ago, I became a director as well. Through film, I think you can really allow people to identify with characters that they may initially think they have nothing in common with. I made a film about an ancient Chinese legend called Legend of Lady Whitesnake, inspired by something I came across as a student of anthropology, actually, this legend that made absolutely no sense to me at the time. And so I decided to explore it further, and that turned into a short film that spans 300 years in 10 minutes and has won many, many awards and been in a lot of different museums. I just got back from a trip to Nepal, filming the recovery process after the earthquakes with a group of monks in a monastery who are rebuilding villages. There's so many levels of complexity to the problems that people experience, but at the same time there's so much light and life and beauty. And these people who have less than nothing, you know, they had very little to start with. An earthquake happened and they lost what little they had, but seeing them come together and help each other, and the spiritual basis from which they draw strength is very beautiful. Opportunities like that really make life worthwhile for me, because as much as the commercial projects and doing music videos and ad campaigns is very satisfying in different ways, there's nothing like being able to really impact people's lives in a positive way.